Mighty Medic, Handyman and Carpentry. Sorry about the hairdo. Wardrobe and makeup couldn't make it out this morning. Kind of far formal. Whatever, just kidding. All right, welcome to this laundry makeover. They had a washer and dryer right here. We're gonna be taking this down, putting 2 big cabinets and custom making some shelving. So check out the process, guys.
All right, so to get started, you gotta remove the old stuff. Make sure you take off the old caulking. I use my 1.5 stiff chisel, putty knife, whatever you want to call it. Thing's phenomenal. Now, an easy way to hang cabinets when you're by yourself is to use a 2x4. However, I'm using the existing trim that's already on there. The homeowner didn't want to remove it because I had to repair the drywall. So when you're mounting the cabinet, you want to find where the studs are. So what I do is I use my stud finder, which always goes off whenever I grab it. I don't know why. Mark 2 lines, use my level to run a straight line. And what I do is I put a line all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. That way when I hang the cabinet, I don't know where it's going. Uh-oh, danger, Will Robinson. We do not have a flat wall. Now, you do this long enough, you realize there is no wall that's ever going to be flat and straight. Okay, there's a little bowl on the left side, but on the right side you can see here's the corner, here's the middle, and there's a nice little gap right there. And how do we mend that gap? Easy. You use that guy right there. Shims. Shims. I have thousands of them. All right, let's go to the top real quick. Remember that line I told you about? There it goes. It's perfect. There's gonna be a little gap in the wall. Put a shim in there, and wabow. What are you doing, step screw?
So a little bit of forward thinking. I knew that when I measure this thing out, it's between the face frames, right? There's gonna be a small gap back there. So I'm leaving this there so I don't have to go back and put a shim. It's already gonna be there in place for me for the cabinet going back.
All right, math time. Here's what I'm building in between. We know that between the face frames is actually 25, not 25 and a half like I had thought before. So what does that mean? That means we got to create these guys. The boards that I'm using are 3/4 birch. 3/4 plus 3/4 is, like my math real quick, 1.5 plus 25 minus 1.5 is, we'll drop that. And yes, I did it in my head really fast, but for the purposes of showing you guys, 23.5. So that tells me that to create a space of 25 inches, my inside board's got to be cut to 23.5. So let's get it started.
All right, get this guy kind of squared up on my table, and I love using these little corner clamps. Got 2 of them, 1 for each side. They are the bee's knees. All right, so to secure the bottom part of this panel, I'm gonna put a pre-drill, a little countersink, followed by a trim screw. About 1.5 inches, something like that. Do it the same on both sides. Again, these little corner screws are phenomenal. After that, stand it up. And I'm gonna go ahead and sand the inside of it because after this, I won't be able to get to it anymore. Now, whether you're building multiple shelves, always get yourself some boards. Now, what I do is I'll cut 4 of them the exact same length, spread them across either 2 big boards, or in this case, these 4, just because this is the scraps that I had lying around. This is gonna ensure that your piece, whether you're doing, again, 4 or 5 rows of shelves, it's just gonna ensure that the equal spacing all the way across. So you don't have to worry about it being a hair off on either one. Again, these little corner clamps are phenomenal. Put them on, same process, pre-drill, countersink, and then put some screws in there. Now for the top, it's pretty easy. You just gotta line it up at the very top. So didn't need the spacers. Now I gotta put something in the back side of this little mini cabinet to hold it against the wall. Again, take some scraps, cut them to that size. What was it, 34.5? Something like that? I don't remember. Put some pocket screws in there. This Craig jig is like, I don't know, I use it almost on every single build. Slap it in place, give it a little love tap, Get in there. There it goes. Use my clamps. Put them in. Perfect. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bow. Wood glue, followed by some brad nails and staplers, and there it goes. Look at that thing. It's gorgeous. All right. Installation. This thing is a snug fit because it was just down to the 32nd. Pop it in. Then I'll use some clamps to hold it in place while I screw them together. Now I'll put the screws in some very inconspicuous places, like up right on top. Put a spacer in there. Threw a screw between both of the cabinets. Again, this is 3/4, so the length of the screw that I'm putting in, it's not even gonna reach. It's like 1.25 inches, so it just holds together.
So here I'm attaching the face frame. Some people like to crack jig it together, glue it together, then put it on there. In this case, I'm just putting it directly onto the cabinet face itself. So I'm using the clamps to hold them in place, using 18 gauge nailer to nail them to the boards. I do put glue on the back side before I put it on, because the nail just pretty much holds it in place while the glue sets. That's really what gives it its strength. After it's all glued in and set in, I'll put some wood filler on if there's a tiny gap. Let it dry, sand it, and then paint it.
My camera died before I was able to finish off with the videotaping, but here's the finished product right here. The part we didn't get on tape was I used my laser level to shoot one from there to there. You just cut it at a 90-degree angle. No need, because the bevel of it makes the effect. So there we are. Nice and installed, and we are done.
So the GoPro died and I couldn't record myself painting, but pretty much 2 layers of primer, sanded in between, and then a final layer of paint. Look at that. Mighty Medic, handyman and carpentry.